Hello happy people, my name is Dan and welcome to part 7 of the GM48 Game Jam games. These are all around the theme of discovery and this is the last in this series because this is all of them. Every GM48 game this jam. So with that in mind, let's see what we've got this time. So up first we have got 15 Deadly Seas. I really like the logo to start with. It's an excellent logo and I love the voxel graphics. Voxel, by the way, is pixel but 3D in a nutshell. What you are is this fun little pirate crew. You're going around shooting your cannons. We just made everyone jump out the ship in the middle of the ocean, but it's fine. They're having a wonderful time. There's the edge of a known universe. Not entirely clearly marked that, but fair enough. Now I did wonder how much of this game I should include because obviously I recorded a bit. I always record a bit more than I actually show, but you know, I thought this time around I think they need to see everything I did. I did die quite quickly and I'll have to go back and try again and get a bit further, but I will show my entire first playthrough. I do like that you get all these different treasures. They're randomly generated, the islands are randomly generated, and can we take a moment to appreciate how beautiful the water effect is on this. All of this is very, very nicely done, and I was getting pelted there. I saw that little ship needed some cannons. I also appreciate the way that things tend to auto-fire. I mean, like, you know, you're not specifically only hitting a very, very small portion. You're hitting right at that ship, even if you're just sort of in the vicinity, and that just makes the game more accessible. In a jam, it's important to make a game as accessible as possible. And speaking of accessibility, it's also gamepad accessible. Another nice touch. So we've got voxel graphics going on, we've got random generation, we've got voxel graphics, I already said that, gamepad support, that's what I meant to say. You've got some nice little coding techniques there that make it easier to hit your enemy. It's a lot of effort has been made into, oh, I'm on fire on the second island already, that was not a good start. A lot of effort has been made into making this game really good. You've got some zooming in and out when you get in. My little crew of gingers there. I don't know if that's a cap or if they're just very ginger. my little ginger crew, I'm going to call them. They're wandering around the island. I love that there's a little set of 4 of them following around as well. It's very cute, it's charming, and I do think the gamepad took a little bit of getting used to because, well, quite frankly, because not many games are gamepad supported. I only recently learned how to do that myself, and it's a good thing to add, but it's obviously takes time, and time is of the essence in a jam. So the fact that they've managed to do that as well shows they've got great time management skills, or just really, really speedy coders. So you see there where I'm firing and hit those ships. That is just sort of the way that's aimed. I just can't quite put it into words how nicely it looks when you're not missing shots because it understands you're firing in that general direction, you're firing at it, it's gonna hit. That's a really nice touch. So basically you go to these islands, you've got a map on the top left as well, which makes it a lot easier, and what you have to do is find the gems on each map and uncover loads of treasures along the way. It's really well done. So that's why I'm showing the whole thing as well. Like I said, I was wondering how much of this gameplay I should show. I did wonder why my HP was going down there. I probably had a very good reason for that. I think probably something I'd picked up. Oh, and he was chasing me, the bastard. Yeah, so this was where my little skirmish came to an end because I blew up, and I need to play that again to do better than that. But yeah, it's a really well made game, so good on them. I'm pleased with that. Up next we have Shul. And in this one you are playing this demon character, and what you have to do is collect the orbly orbs, which are those things up there. I remember them saying what it was and I forgot what they were called. But basically you have to collect them for different characters, and they give you different abilities. So you've got this little slime companion, you plop them on the ground, and when you land on them you jump even higher, which is nice. A good little bouncing mechanic. Later you unlock gravity flipping, you also unlock wall jumping. He wanted 6 orbly blobs and I had 5, so I had to go and collect this one up here, which was a bit tricky because I think the problem with dropping a slime on the ground is it's quite difficult to tell where I dropped them. I can see obviously in some cases you've got some help with some indication because the background elements help with that, but that's not always present, so it does get a little bit confusing. I do like the graphical style, the sort of hand-drawn style, and I do really like the soundtrack, especially the fact that it changes. And I got the Orbly Blob there, so he gave me the ability to wall jump, which is nice. So it's good how you get different abilities which help you progress to the next stage, and it's always nice that the soundtrack changes as you go along, which is a good touch. The wall jump was a little bit clunky. The controls on it felt a little bit weird because you press in the direction of a wall to wall jump rather than away from it, which feels a little unnatural, to be fair, but then it's all part of a learning experience, and I missed that Orbly Blob too. The note says, the further you fall, the faster you something. And then, yeah, this is the gravity changing bit now, so now that I learnt how, oh no, I didn't learn it yet, I was trying to get the Orbly Blob. I spoke to a character over there and they gave me that ability, this wonderful flying screw, Metatron no less. What happens then is you can press C and if, obbles, you just said what it was called there, obbles? Yeah, you see there, I do a little flip and I can get the obble. It's, yeah, like I said, the platforming takes a bit of getting used to, but it is nicely done. I do think it's quite stylish. But yeah, it's a lot of getting used to. Some of it's quite difficult to begin with. I do think the difficulty curve, while it is good that it starts off simple, it does get tricky quite quickly. But then of course the problem is if you're making a game for a game jam, it's quite difficult to gauge how other people are going to play it and how difficult they're going to find it. The same problem exists with puzzle games. Puzzle games are always the trickiest to gauge how other people are going to find it. But overall, I really did enjoy this one. A few little bits of polish, some improvement here and there, maybe some collision boxes which seemed quite harsh, needing adjusting, but overall it's a good game, just needing a few little tweaks.
This is an audio game that is blind accessible, so headphones are recommended. In this game you will mine down to find more sources of good and hopeful music, while avoiding darker tones. Instructions are in the README in the zip file, but the general rule is you use arrow keys to navigate, space to dig. The music will change as you get closer to dying, and you stay alive longer by finding the good tonal music. The music will get darker the closer you are to death. Space will start the game.
See, I like this idea. I like the idea in theory. It's really, really good to have a blind accessible game. There needs to be more blind accessible games. I just didn't know what was going on. I'm so bad at, like, using my ears and my headphones because I don't tend to use my headphones very often. It's one of those things where I really, really think that... Music got a bit louder there. I really, really think it's a great idea in practice. It just needs a little bit more refinement so that I knew what was going on. It might just be that I'm not very good at this, interpreting what's going on with my ears instead of my sight, which I'm very thankful for, and obviously not everyone has that privilege. And blind accessibility, as well as accessibility for other disabilities, is fantastic. Credit to him for that. But I was totally confused. And this got me as well. The score comes up, but due to the limitations of the jam...
Oh, looks like you ran out of music. Due to limitations of the jam, I can't tell you your score, but it is available on your screen.
Blind.
Press space if you would like to try again. Thanks again for playing.
No, fair enough. I suppose, well, you maybe could have done like recording 0 to 9 and then recording 1,000, 2,000, etc. But yeah, I get it. Limitations of a jam. Overall, like I say, really clever idea. Really, really needed. But for someone who's not used to this kind of game, I got very quickly baffled. Anyway, that was Musical Minds, and this is Butterflies. Now this game promises to be an asynchronous MMO that uses the GM48 leaderboards in a unique way to manage player interactions. Interestingly, it's the first game submitted for this jam, and it's the last one I reviewed. And we're certainly ending this series on a high because wow, this game is incredible. You are this cat, you are discovering different species of butterflies, and look around you, it's other players. That is phenomenal. but they've managed to get other players from the leaderboards who have actually played this game and made them characters in the game with their own species, everything they've discovered. You can steal from them if you're missing a certain butterfly from your collection, which I found so difficult because I filled the sus meter 3000 very, very quickly. That meter fills up enormously fast, which is fair because you are stealing from them. I suppose they would notice quite easily. I'm not a very good thief. But then if you can't steal from them, you can just catch the butterflies around you. And then as each day progresses, you fill up your little butterfly book, which is there on the bottom right, with the different species you've discovered and how many of them you have caught. I do think it's a bit cheeky saying discovered over and over when you've already got the butterfly. Maybe it would have helped to just say added, or I don't know. I also find sometimes, because I develop under the name Tidykin Games, as you know, that's quite lengthy, so it doesn't always fit into the text boxes there, so maybe some compressing the text a little bit. But these are minor nitpicks, and the nitpicks have to be minor because everything about this is so phenomenal. It's really, really well made, so there's nothing major I can flaw about this, but my first successful stealing, which is not something I've done very often. Yeah, see, there I am, number 9 on the leaderboard, and you see everyone's collections, including mine, and you see my name doesn't quite fit. But yeah, it shows how many days people spent, and it shows the different species they have. I nearly got all of them. I think there's a few, 7 or 6 I was missing in the end. I'll have to go back and play some more days if I get the chance, because this is just absolutely phenomenal. I'm just really, really impressed. The actual length they've gone to have a functioning, not just leaderboard, oh, it was 5 I'm missing, not just a functional leaderboard, but a functional entire database of what people have collected, and how difficult they are to steal from. They are so, I'm never good at stealing from people, which is why I got fired from work. I'm kidding, that is a terrible joke, no. Yeah, it's really, really well done, and the graphics fit beautifully. It's just, I just can't fault it. So I don't really have a whole lot more to say about this one. What you have to do is just continue to expand your butterfly collection and make it up the leaderboard. Just truly phenomenal. I'm absolutely blown away. Anyway, with that in mind, I hope you did enjoy this game, this video, and this whole series, because it's all come to an end now. That is every GM48 game this jam. Though I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, stick around, because I do plan on putting a video out soon of my time-lapse of me making my contribution to this jam, which was disc recovery, if you haven't checked it out already. And I will clearly be back for the next jam. How can I miss a GM48 jam? And if you're new to game development and you want to challenge yourself, I recommend you give the GM48 the game jam a go too. I'm going to go and learn to speak, and until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!